Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. Welcome to another market open stream. Today, it's looking like Bitcoin is set to blast off along with many crypto and US markets. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about what is happening today. Let's do it. Let's do it, guys. Welcome. We are starting out the day. Look at this. Slowly climbing up, but we are nearing $108,000 this morning. So obviously, that is a good thing. Obviously, that V-shaped recovery is still ongoing. But what's next? What's next? Let's take a look at everything that's happening. There are quite a lot of things. The U.S. market looking like it wants to flip green today, especially the tech sector. NASDAQ plus 121, down slightly, but things can definitely move in a big way today. All right. I mean, obviously, people are still thinking that the ceasefire is going to hold, even though yesterday, Trump wasn't very happy about Israel, wasn't happy about Iran, swore on air. This never happened before, I think. But still, things are still looking like they're progressing, and the end of the war may be over soon. So if you look at stocks today, I'll get to them during Q&A, but things are going up once again. Coinbase had a fantastic day yesterday, still in the green. Robinhood in the green. Circle turning in green. MicroStrategy in the green. So today is a good recovery day so far, and a lot of crypto also. We got this. Unfortunately, I don't think this is going to change, but Vance now supporting Trump and questioning whether Powell is doing the right thing. Why? This is a mistake. Ask for a rate hike. It's not. They're basically wondering, when is Powell going to cut, right? The U.S. needs its rate to come down. Cutting the Fed fund rate would help a lot with that. And they're both asking, when is it going to happen? At this point in time, we really don't know. Powell says he needs more clarity around tariffs and how it's going to affect things before he does. But the good thing is, inflation, at least the numbers that have come out over the last few months, have showed that inflation has really not gone up. In fact, they unexpectedly reported lower than estimates. So we got that going, but maybe eventually Powell will give us that rate cut we want, possibly next month or September being the first one, and then one more at the end of the year. However, he did give that nod to the Stablecoin Bill, the Genius Bill, all right? And that's a big one. I think people are still not recognizing the significance of this. There are some challenges to get it to pass the House, and then eventually in Trump's hands, and then he's going to sign it. But it's moving along. And it does seem like both sides want one version or another to pass. Genius Bill obviously passed the Senate. There's another version of it called Stable in the House, and they're probably going to merge the two in some way to get it going. And once it passes, it's going to be absolutely huge. It's going to be a game changer for the U.S. So even Powell recognizes that. Okay. Even though we as a country will probably never get a CBDC, we will have to embrace stablecoins though. So that's a big thing. That's the reason why stablecoin companies have been, or related companies have been going up and up and up and up and up. All right. Outside of this, let's look at some Bitcoin stuff. Yesterday, no surprise, another huge inflow day. $436 million from BlackRock, in total $588 million. Wall Street cannot get enough Bitcoin. It's not going to stop. This is the reason why we're recovering up, and slowly. Well, when you look at this, not really slow, but if you look at this, you're wondering, you can see it slow trending upwards. A lot of it is just institutional buying, long-term buyers as well. Here's something interesting. Tom Lee, he's been, I would say, pretty accurate with his predictions. He's called for Bitcoin to be a lot higher this year, 200, 250,000. He is a Bitcoin bull. And he thinks even MicroStrategy could outperform Bitcoin gains. And the reason being, you look at history, MicroStrategy has been moving pretty well, especially if you look at a year-to-date performance. And, year-over-year performance. Year-to-date, not so much. Year-over-year, quite a lot. And the interesting thing about this is there's a 91% chance that strategy could be added to the S&P 500. Okay, within the week. If this happens, this is not only great for Saylor, but great for Bitcoin. Saylor's all about Bitcoin, right? So if MicroStrategy or strategy gets added to S&P 500, instantly it gets included into thousands and thousands of ETFs out there, which means the Bitcoin strategy is going to expand. If the stock goes up, he's going to have more money to buy more Bitcoin, and you get it. Coinbase was already added, which is a big deal. Getting strategy added will be a big deal as well. These are all great things for Bitcoin. And Metaplanet, the strategy of Asia, is now planning on buying another $515 million worth of Bitcoin. They've been buying 100 million at a time, one after another, and they want to buy 5 more times, I guess, because they're buying at $100 million each. So, again, why Bitcoin is so strong, why it continues to go up, because of these reasons. Now, here's something else too. Trump Media. They're about to get their Bitcoin ETF approved. Bitcoin / Ethereum. So this could also bring in a lot of new liquidity into the space. Not only that, his other company is trying to raise $400 million to buy Bitcoin. So, again, these are all great things, okay? It's just a matter of time. We're sitting right under 108,000, not too far off from our 112,000 all-time high. It's just a matter of time before we blast off into that new leg up and at a new level. There are a lot of people charting, looking at metrics, looking at graphs, and they all think the same way. This is actually looking at the liquidation heat map, looking at all the liquidity. You can see today we are primed to go and liquidate all those shorts right around $108,000. That's the reason why I think we're like a little bit below, because there are a lot of liquidity right there that's trying to hold the line. But once we break through 108,000, we're right back up to $111,000. And that's near our all-time high, right? So if we get through this, and it seems like today we'll see. If we get through this, we should be right back to our previous high, getting ready to blast off. And when we do blast off, where we gonna go? 170,000? This is according to TechDev. He showed a couple charts, okay, showing that, man, we're still so early in this cycle. yeah, we've been trending upwards like previous cycles, but you know, maybe we've been trending upwards a little bit longer, but that's okay. But that parabolic phase, we haven't really seen. Maybe we get it, maybe we don't, but you guys can see the overall trend is upwards. It's really that simple. But if you're looking at these kind of metrics, it does show that Bitcoin is right before the parabolic phase, what Raoul Pal calls the banana zone. So it's quite interesting. We may be getting that parabolic rise later this year, even though it's been so slow and steady this cycle. But you never know. We could still get that huge leg upwards to that 200, 250, 300, 500,000 mark that a lot of people have been predicting. Outside of Bitcoin, Bybit, one of the biggest exchanges out there, is reporting that XRP Holdings doubled within the last 6 months. Now, why is that? There is something, well, there are a few things coming up that can definitely bring some momentum, some liquidity into some of the crypto out there, including XRP. And that, my friends, are the ETFs that are pending right now. Okay, there are a lot of them pending. The final deadline you can see for many of these are in October. And that includes XRP, Solana, Dogecoin, Cardano, and even Litecoin. After that, in September, you have Polkadot and Hedera. And then in December, you have Avalanche and Sui, and then Tron. Right? But all these in October, right? That lines up, like, when is the rate cut going to happen? Most likely in September. And if that spurs like a huge leg up and we get an explosion afterwards, then the timing of these are perfect, because if we get into that parabolic phase and then these come out, man, you're going to see billions come into the likes of XRP and Solana and possibly Doge and Cardano. So it's looking good. Odds of approval, 95%. That's crazy. That's crazy. But it's happening. Ooh, and we just hit 108,000. If we continue, let's refresh this. If we keep going, you can see we're going to clear out a lot of shorts and head right up to $111,000. And then a couple other things. We hear a lot about Bitcoin treasuries. Here's a company that plans on putting 1 billion BNB in their treasury. This is the first time I haven't heard of anyone else putting BNB into their treasury. But if you think about it, BNB is highly overlooked. No one talks about BNB, but it is in the big cap category. It stays up there. It doesn't really move. And the market cap is huge. So, kind of makes sense. And then you have another company, Aurora Mobile, that's going to be having a treasury of just a whole bunch of crypto. They put in here MicroStrategy, Coin, GBDC, Circle, and then down here they put the basket could be including Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Sui, and many others. So now the trend is, you know what? We're going to build out a treasury of crypto, not just Bitcoin. Let's add in some of those alts too. So this is very positive. This is what we've been seeing with Bitcoin. That's how we saw billions upon billions come in. Now we're going to see the same thing. If we go to get those ETFs, which it sounds like we will in October, And plus, firms are starting to put money into these alts too. Well, that's great. That's great. Good stuff. All right, let's see. Things are still looking good. Circle's still profit taking going on right now, but you got the others like Coinbase leading the way up. New 52-week high. It's really, really close to its all-time high, or maybe it is. If you go it might be all-time high. I thought it debuted at 400, but if you go back looking at this, Coinbase is at all-time high. I don't think that's right, but maybe. And Bitcoin continues to go higher, $108,000. Looking pretty good. And today, speaking of XRP, mimicking Bitcoin's movement back to 222, SUI back up to 283, and then you got Ethereum under 2,500, Solana almost back to 150. Today is a pretty good day so far, and it's early. Let's see if we can really, if we continue to liquidate some shorts and get a short squeeze, can we go all the way back up to $111,000, $112,000? That would be fantastic. All right, let's do some Q&A. Bring up CryptosRUs, go to the dashboard. Let's see. Today we're still in the fear zone, which is funny. But the heat map shows basically everything is in the green today. And my DCA portfolio, today is DCA day. Gone down slightly because of the alts. But if we have a good move today, that could certainly bring it back up again. George, do you think XRP will perform better in Solana? I don't know. You know, Ripple, I mean, the market cap is so big now, but I think Ripple will do well. However, I don't know if they're going to outperform Sol. The best thing is to hold both. I think they're going to both. Once they both get their ETFs, things are going to change. If we get a semi-altcoin season, memes will get hot again. And, of course, then Sol's will get really, really hot again. So, but, you know, Ripple has its own things, too. So, I think they're both good holds. X Control is curious if you're a fan of Say, is Circle's biggest holding. I am a fan of Say because, you know, a couple things that's happened recently. I mean, they've been around for a long time, right? They have interesting stuff going on, but kind of overlooked by all the other L1s. But recently, being picked by Wyoming as its stablecoin chain, it's a huge thing, set them off. Also, they have ties to the administration. World Liberty Financial holds Say. They have Eric Trump as an advisor. I didn't know about Circle holding Say. I don't even know, never heard of that. But the other two has been giving it so much momentum. It has been quite crazy. I mean, it's been moving pretty well from a 19 cent. Well, actually, you could argue from 15-cent level, it has doubled within the last week. So, yeah, it's definitely riding the bandwagon right now, the stablecoin bandwagon very well. Music Master. Most YouTubers say Bitcoin will go down again. Why is it still going up? Just don't listen to most YouTubers. Just listen to me. That's my response. Circle owns 6.5 million tokens. I'll have to look into that because that's an interesting perspective. Why would they be holding so much of say? I don't know. But thanks for pointing that out. Well, we certainly liquidated those people at 100, 107.9. They got liquidated. So we got a few more levels here. 108, 100, all the way up to basically 110. If we get through this, a few more levels, just shot up, we'll be right back to 111. Did I see Hood today? No, but yeah, both Hood and Coinbase. I've been making a killing with Hood. There's a chance that they get added to S&P 500 too. That's why a lot of people are excited. But both Coinbase and Robinhood now are like neck and neck with market cap. 74 million versus 90. Oh, excuse me. Coinbase is much bigger. But they're both going to be, I mean, they're both, you think about it from a new user perspective. Everyone starts their account and trades on Coinbase or Robinhood for crypto. So just think about that. They have all the users. Now, after people mature, they can move off and, of course, use other exchanges or DeFi. But everyone, basically in America, they're either starting with Coinbase or Robinhood. That's why they're so strong. But Robinhood, I think, have advantage because people trade stocks on them too. Look at this. Just found this. According to Foresight News, Say has announced that Circle is one of the biggest or largest investors. They hold 6.25 million tokens, the most significant token on its balance sheet compared to any other cryptocurrency. This is pretty big. What is 6.25 million tokens? What is that worth? So you divide by, it's up 81% in the last 7 days. Crazy. So you pretty much divide by 3. About $2 million. $2 million worth of Say tokens. That's interesting. Mr. Corvette. What do you think about ZRX1? I mean, what's not to love about it? As long as the price is not too outrageous, it's a hypercar in supercar with supercar pricing, right? I wish they would have made it look different than just a regular ZR1. It looks exactly the same except the brake calipers are blue because they're bigger, more pistons. But outside of that and a badge, you can't really see the difference. But I would love to buy one. I love to call a Chevy dealership and say I want to buy one, but they're not gonna allow me to. Even with ZR1, they're like, oh, you gotta wait for allocations, and when the allocation come in, they're gonna probably charge like 50 to 100K more. But ZR1X, supposedly there's no allocation. It's all ordered. I don't know. For fun, I'm just going to call in and see. It sucks dealing with Chevy dealerships. It's great to deal with like luxury high-end dealerships. It sucks dealing with Chevy dealerships, especially when you're trying to buy a very expensive car. Man, I hope this correction for Circle lets up. I did FOMO into Circle, so I'm hoping it does continue. But it does need to take a break. Trump is speaking at NATO. Hopefully, whatever he says is good. Sammy, do you expect a summer lull around August? Is that some like new speak that I don't understand? Are you saying that it's gonna be a dull summer until like September? Um, Maybe. I do think Bitcoin is ready to make one leg up, and then we hover until September, October timeframe. Especially if we get that rate cut. I think we are going to make that next leg up, and then it becomes dull. But I think we're just like, we've been held back by a lot of these like macro conditions, but it can only hold Bitcoin back for so long. Jay, I can't give you any advice on Brettcoin. I never liked Brett. I'm still neutral on base. So not the right person to ask about when it comes to Brett. T-Rev says, put my entire net worth in Sol and ADA. You know, it could pay out really well when they get their ETFs. Where is that? In October. You know, who knows? Only Grayscale is trying to come out with the Cardano ETF. Look at XRP. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 applicants. Solana, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, that's also 7. So Solana, XRP, man, a lot of interest. Doge, there's 3. Litecoin, there's 3. Cardano, only 1, but still, probably go get it. Man, we just need to break high here. We need to liquidate more shorts. There's like a, you know, there's a lot of walls right now, right above 108. We just need to get through them. All this liquidity right here. Incredible Ventures, Panic sold 5% at 99K. You know what? It happens to the best of us. Bitcoin, I'll never do that with Bitcoin. Even when I want to sell, maybe I sell off some alts. Not Bitcoin though. You just know Bitcoin's going to recover very quickly, and it's at that point of making the next leg. Have I driven a newer GTR? I mean, it's been the same GTR for the last like 15 years. So, but with that said, no. The answer is no. I mean, it was cool when it came out. Now, I have no interest in it. Like, zero. Nissan really just dropped the ball. They were so ahead when they came out the GTR, and they let everyone else catch up and surpass them, and now they have done nothing because they're going bankrupt. If you can only have one XRP or Sol, I'd pick Sol. If I can only have one. But in this world, you don't need to just have one. NATO, I saw, agreed that they are going to increase their defense budget by 5%. What's a good first car? Honda Civic. The new Civics are pretty nice, but they're not cheap anymore. But if you're looking for a good, reliable, and decent looking car as a first car, I would say a Honda Civic. Hey, Baron, don't worry about what I bought Circle at, man. I love my Forte GT and K4 seems tunable too. Yeah, Kia has some nice cars. They look good, for sure. But overall, you don't see a lot of Kias on the road. I see a lot of Tellurides, but for everything else, I don't see a lot of. 5% of GDP for each country. Okay. Well, basically, same thing. 5%. All right, guys. I'll let you guys go. Overall today, shaping out to be a pretty good day. Bitcoin above 108. If we smash through some sell levels, we will be at 110, 111. So I'm waiting for that to happen. We got a decent recovery with some of the alts. You got the big three like Coinbase, MicroStrategy, Hood. They are all up. So today's looking pretty good. Pretty good indeed. All right. So smash the like, subscribe to the channel. Have a good rest of your day and stay tuned for tonight's video. All right. All right. Have a good one. Take care. Bye-bye.
What do you think about Ripple?
Well, I mean, I think it's too centralized, but I definitely want to meet Chris Larson.